Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of The Lion's Den. Today we speak with Neco Turkienicz, who founded the company LEIB Productions after a very long career in TV, film, and video production of all sorts. So what his company does that I think is really cool is they do something called remote customer testimonials. And so basically they'll help you to film customer testimonials without having to go through some big expensive process of going on site, setting up a recording studio area and doing all that crazy stuff. It's really cost effective and really powerful to have those video customer testimonials. So give this a listen. I think you're going to really enjoy.
Neco, welcome to the Lion's Den.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely, yeah. And for those of you watching and listening, Neco's name, I thought it was Nico when I was reading it. I thought I was speaking to a Nico. Slight difference, but we have a lot of almost the same. But we've got a lot of similarities. We both have lion logos for our company. We're kindred spirits for sure.
Absolutely.
So you run a company called LEIB Productions, and you create video content for businesses who want to leverage the medium of video to better tell their story, to get their product and service out to the world. And a really cool thing that you've perfected, which I want to definitely talk more about a little bit later, is this remote video production thing that you guys have been doing, which I think is really cool. But I want to start with your background, because I was looking at your LinkedIn page and reading about your background, and it really speaks to your credibility as a creator and producer of video content over so many decades. So can you maybe just kind of walk me through the different stages of your career and your background in video?
Sure. So, well, as you know, I'm originally from Brazil. So the very start was in Brazil. I was always into the creative side of life and the visual and mainly. So I started with photography when I was still in high school. I started dabbling with photography, and I ended up studying journalism in the university in Brazil. But I was eager to experience something else. I was in a Jewish movement, youth movement, since I was a child, and I really wanted to live in Israel. And my wife, which I met very early in life in the movement, many years ago. I was 16, she was 14, and we ended up deciding to move to Israel, and we didn't finish our universities, and we moved to Israel. But and for 10 years I was into agriculture. I decided I left everything. I was into agriculture because that's what I wanted to do, and was great until I got bored. And then I went back. I decided I'm going to go back to school, and I went to film school in Tel Aviv University. So that's where I started my career. I was very lucky to finish, me and my class, to finish film school exactly when cable TV started in Israel, which was in 1990. And so we all got jobs right away, because there were suddenly a lot of channels. Have to understand, this was a country that until then had 2 TV channels. That's it. So suddenly you have tens of TV channels. You need a lot of people. So that's when I started, and I started in sports TV. Worked many years in sports TV. The beginning as an editor, and then I started to direct, and then I branched out to other types of TV. So I worked in the Channel 2 in Israel, always as a freelance, in the beginning editor and then director. Ended up directing 8 documentary films for Channel 2, for cable TV, in different things, from sports to even supermodels and stuff. And I did a lot of promos. I always loved the musicality of editing. And so one of the things that I miss that I never did again was those sports promos of building a visual sequence that speaks with players, with replays and the right music. I would always put the music first and then build it on that. And so learned a lot. That was a great editing school for me, which is and editing remains a main thing for me, because editing is storytelling. It's not a technical thing, and that's where I started learning how to do it properly, and also working with people and that's where my love of interviewing that I have until today, which is a good part of what I do these days, came because interacting with people. When you work in television, work in film, it takes a village always to do everything, and you learn to work with people and to interact. And I always enjoyed that part very much, and still do. So that's how it started.
Wow, that's awesome. And man, it sounds like you got really lucky too, coming out of film school right as cable's taken off in Israel, and you get to ride that wave. So at what point did you move to the USA? That was in the early 2000s, is that right?
Yes, exactly. So for about 14 years, I was working as a freelancer. I wasn't planning on leaving Israel, but in 2004, out of nowhere, a friend of mine that went to film school with me, and was originally American and came back to America and started an animation studio. He called me and he said, "Listen, my studio is growing, and I need help, and I thought of you." And he offered me a job as a creative director. I came. I liked what I saw, and then my family agreed to come. This was in 2004. So in 2004, I came to the U.S. And my family, I have two children. They were teenagers back then. My daughter and my son, and my wife is a teacher. So we did the family gathering and said, "Okay, let's take a leap," because that was that would be our third country. Yes. And
Right.
it's always, and moving with a family, it's always a challenge, but it was worth it, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
So that was 20 years ago.
Wow. And did you have any experience with animation specifically prior to that?
Then not much.
Okay. Okay.
But my friend, whose name is Ezra Krause, his company is animated storyboards. Today they are the largest animatic company. Animatic is those are the videos that you do to test ideas for commercials. And
Okay.
well, he trusted me, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I learned a lot. So from 2D animation to 3D animation to motion capture, and it was a great experience. And that lasted for 4 years, and then came 2008 crisis, and life changed. I went back to being a freelancer for a while. Meanwhile, became a U.S. citizen, and in 2013, I started my first company, my first production company, with a partner, David Vogel, and we had that company called Video SEO Pro for 7 years. And what we did was basically what I still do today, which is creating video content for businesses. It changed with time, and I have to say that the remote video production chapter of my life started still with Video SEO Pro.
Okay. Got it. So now that we have the background, and that is pretty extensive background in all things video and editing and directing and animation, and I mean, you got you run the whole gamut there, which is awesome. So let me maybe just ask a basic question at this point. Like,
Sure.
why is video content an absolute must do for businesses today?
Well, listen. First of all, it's video. Video appeals to almost all our senses. We can taste it, we can't smell it, but the visual communication is what we use with, and it works so much faster. So and today, if you know, and you have a lot of stats too. One stat that I like is from HubPost. Last year, they said that 72% of people prefer watching a video about a product or a service than reading text.
Mm-hmm.
And that's significant. And so not only we know that it works much faster. So to communicate anything today, if you're not doing it in video, and not to say that people shouldn't be posting text, of course, yes, but it works much faster, gets your message out, and attracts attention, which is, in this competitive market, that's what you need, because
Yeah. And it's funny, like I listen to a lot of podcasts. We're obviously recording one right now, but it is funny. The podcasts that I listen to that also have the video component of two people talking, I can't really explain why, but I just really prefer watching the video version of it instead of just listening to the audio. So like there's something innate there where it's like, I want to see what I'm hearing,
Well, connection, we are geared by emotions, not logic. Logic is important, but what, that's what make people also decide on even what they want to, what they want to consume, what they want to buy. But we connect emotionally. When you see a person, you identify with that person. Something speaks to you, not only by the sound of their voice, but by the expression makes a huge difference. So there is that visual connection is comparable to none. So that's one of the reasons, not the only reason, but one of them.
Yeah. And so what are some of the different ways that business owners can use video content in order to grow their business?
Well, many ways, and the great thing about video is that is super repurposable. You can repurpose it a lot. So listen, I would say the basic thing that every business has a website. First thing you want to see if you get to someone's website is a video about the company, because you don't have time. Like people get to your website, great. You want to keep them there. How do you keep them there? Because if there's nothing to keep them there, they will go to the next one in seconds. So a video as a first thing that people see always will keep people. And I know I won't get into stats, but that's something that has been scientifically checked. People will stay more. Now, then the question is, what do you have in that video? Yeah, of course. But the fact that you have a video there will already be a factor in people staying. So that's very important. So having you can call it a branding video, an explainer video, but something that catch people's attention. And then, of course, when people start watching, you need to keep them there. So that's one way. Another way of using video, of course, is social media. Like and people know that people are posting more and more videos, and you need to be creating video content constantly. The phrase that I like is that everybody that works in marketing will say, well, content is king. I say content is king, but video is the king of content, and that's how I relate to it. Video is a tool. So people when creating videos should have a goal, and keep that in mind, and not just the video for video. So so what I was saying, social media is very important. Testimonials, client testimonials, they well, they are my bread and butter, but I think they're really important as marketing tools and as sales tools. They're very important as sales tools. I've had many clients that came back to tell me that thanks to a testimonial, they closed the deal, and that's only because they asked. People will not say always, but so many different types of video that you can do, and there are videos that you can do to make your company function in a more efficient way. Onboarding videos, product videos to explain. Those are videos that make you more efficient. So video is not only a marketing tool and a sales tool. It's an efficiency tool, if you will. It's easier for someone that you are onboarding to your firm to watch a video and understand much quicker and clearer what the process is. And well, the list goes on.
Right. And so, I mean, I'm kind of curious, like we all have a smartphone in our pocket. I mean, do you recommend that business owners just get in the habit of using it and constantly creating video content, or should we rely on experts like you? Or both?
First of all, two different questions. Technically, using your phone to create videos, of course we should. Every one of us has a high resolution camera in our pockets, and you can create great things, of course, but provided it's framed correctly, and it's and you have decent lighting, and you follow a few guidelines on how to do it properly. It can create great things. And don't forget, people are doing documentaries using iPhones. So the tool that we have today, we should use it. When do you need a professional, and when you can do things yourself? Well, there's a lot of things that you can do yourself. So there are many things that you may need a professional to learn how to do it yourself, and then you do it yourself easier. And that's one of the things that I try to help people, because I don't want to. When I have a client, I don't want them to be dependent on our services. It will always cost them more to do that. So but if they learn how to do by themselves what they can do themselves, and there's a lot that you can do yourself, then we sometimes they will need professional help to make it look better, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And so there's the actual filming of it, which, like you said, everybody has an iPhone in their pocket, and experts obviously know more about cinematography and settings and lighting and all of that. There's also the element I'm thinking about, like a business owner may say to themselves, yeah, I know I need to make video content, but I don't really know what to do in the video. I don't know what the video should be about. And so there's sort of like the creative, you could call it script writing or whatever, sort of designing what the video is going to be about. Is that something that you guys help with too?
Absolutely. One of the things that we do is what I call a social media video program, where we really teach business owners how to create videos, and we start always by understanding what is the message that they want to put out, and not only that, what is the goal before the message. What is the goal of them putting them videos, and the videos, and many times what you want to put out there is just value, education. You want to educate your audience. You don't need to be out there. Mainly in social media, those are not paid ads, so you're not selling anything. You are selling the fact that you're an expert. You are selling the fact that you know what you're talking about, and your company is but you may, by giving people information, you are helping them, of course, and that's what I try to do in my videos when I create them. Like, tell people about things that they could be doing for their businesses, doing video, and how to do it. So every professional has value that they can, knowledge that they can share. I have people that work with me, tax attorneys sharing. It's not legal advice, but they're sharing value. So everyone has value that they can be giving. If you are a pest control the firm, you have a lot of stuff that you can teach people, and by doing that and by putting it out there, people will know you more. Well, that's how the algorithm works as well. But you need to be putting out valuable content, and by valuable content is you don't need to invent things. It's the things that as a professional, like being that you are a competent professional and you know what you're doing. You have stories to tell, and that's what I think people should be putting out there. Now, technically, I diverged. Sorry. Technically, what I was saying, we help people in finding out. Okay, that's what I can be putting out there, and then we do the technical part, which is teaching them how to set up if they want to use. For them to have a place where they just need to put the camera in the tripod and the microphone, click on the light, and go.
Yeah.
You have to have a setup, so you don't need to invent that. You don't need to set it up every time. Or if the people want to use a green screen like I have behind my stuff like that, so we help them set up. We do the first video with them, and we also help them by creating digital assets. For example, an intro, a motion graphics intro. I was talking about this tax attorney. I saw that his logo is a boxing glove like this with IRS here, and so I said, "Wow, that's that is calling for some for some creative idea and some animation." So we ended up. I suggested that we call it "Knock Out Your Taxes." I said, "Oh, love it." And then we created an animation with a glove, like punching. So and so we create those kind of things that to you want to open your video with that every time, but it's repurposable. So it's something that we will reuse and every chapter just with a new title according to the like the title of the episode, let's say. Okay. Yeah. And so we help them create the first one. We create those or if there will be text overlays, which people use a lot today. So we like to help people with that. Not necessarily. Sometimes doing the ones that look like that go after every word, which many people are using today. This the kind of, or just the when I would say when it's more in depth. I would say those text overlays that are emphasizing certain things that you say, and we do that. We create that, and from there on, our clients start. Each one they get a personal link to our platform, to our remote platform, where they can record and whenever they want. So they're not dependent on us. From there, they're by themselves, using the setup that we put up together, and they start creating. Now, the way it's done, like our platform allows us to record in people's phones, locally in the phone. So it's not being recorded in the cloud. It's not being recorded over the internet. It's being recorded in the phone. So you have that 4K quality if you want, or HD at least. So they record into the platform. It uploads it directly to the platform. We get it. They don't need to send it to us. And what we'll do, we'll edit it. We'll format it for different social media platforms. You want a vertical video, you need a horizontal video, you need a square video for LinkedIn. So we will format it. We'll also create custom thumbnails, which are important. So people it makes it pop out much more, and it's good for SEO and transcripts and all. And they start posting. We don't do the posting for people. We usually work with partners that do that, or our clients have their own marketing department or social media department.
Yeah. Okay, so and I just want to be clear, because what you were just describing right there, that's really your remote video production, that side of your business. Because you also have live action, video where you guys will actually come on site, you bring all the camera and the lighting equipment or whatever, and you'll film something, or people will come to you. You've also got the animation that you guys can create animated videos. But the remote video thing, I think, is really cool. And that's what you were just talking about, where you have a software platform that you use that people can just access with their phone. I'm assuming through virtual, video conferencing, you connect with them, you guide them through the right way to do the filming. You virtually sort of say, plan out with them what they need to film, but then it's they who are actually like recording with their phone. Is that right? They do the recording?
In this case, yeah. After we do the one session with them, actually teaching them what to do. And it includes a teleprompter. Our platform has a teleprompter built in. So if people want to work with a script, we will teach them how to use the teleprompter and also coach them, because nobody is a born anchor. So, and you have to learn how to use the teleprompter in a way that in the end it looks and sounds as if you're speaking, not really. And you have to practice a little bit. Or many people will speak off the cuff, which is good too. But after that one time, yes, they get this link. They get by themselves to the platform whenever they want, in the middle of the night, if that's the time they have to record. And we'll record and forget, because we will get it immediately. We will download it from the cloud and edit it accordingly and have it ready for them in a couple of days. So that's the way that works. Now, remote video production basically is that platform, that the technical part is the platform that I described, that allows us to record locally in people's phones. And the professional part of it is the fact that and when we talk about interviews or even that, on the other side of something that looks like a Zoom chat, you have a video professional like myself to help them get it right. And to guide them as much as possible, so that they
It's interesting, because as a road for your company to go down, I think it's really cool to do that, because you're much more scalable by doing this remote video production model. You don't have to be traveling and going on site. I would think it's also, for the client, more cost effective, because I know for me personally, that's what usually holds me back from recording videos is, it's going to cost me, a ton of money. All the guys have to come out and carry all the equipment and stuff. If you can remove that, it's probably much more affordable. Is that right?
Well, the two main advantages of remote video production: one, cost, as you said. It slashes down production costs, because there's no crew. If I go out with my, as you mentioned, we do live action, or what I call traditional production, and going with a crew on a location. Yeah, but it costs. So it costs like I have to pay a videographer, the soundman, and I'll charge my client accordingly. Costs much more. So with remote video production, you slash the production costs really a lot. And the other advantage is logistics, much easier. As you were saying, I will have to call everybody, and So take, for example, a branding video. A traditionally filmed branding video. Well, I will come to your company for a full day with my crew, and I will tell you, Neco, call a couple of your clients so we can interview them, and we'll film everything. Everything's in that one day. It's very disruptive, and it will cost you much more. Now, for example, a branding video like that could cost something around $10,000. That's the expense. If you do it remotely, it costs less than half.
Yeah.
Now, So that's the first thing. But logistically, I would say I need to interview you. I need to interview clients. All when you're working the traditional way, there's no such thing as a 1 hour shoot. Whoever believes that doesn't know what they're talking about. There's no such thing. It's a minimum a half a day shoot if you're going out with a crew, if not a day. But with remote, you can have half an hour here, an hour there. For a production company like ourselves, doesn't matter, and for the client, it's much easier. So a branding video can be done remotely, and we've done several branding videos remotely. It takes a few sessions, but yeah, we do an interview today, another interview. It may take a little bit more time on the production side, but that's okay. It will cost much less, and it will be much more convenient. And you can do B-roll, like additional footage, not only interviews. You can, and we do it. Like, for example, when we're doing an interview, all we need to send the client is a tripod for the phone and a microphone. But when we're doing B-roll in certain projects, we will send a gimbal for the phone, one of those stabilizers, and then we'll have a remote videographer, one of our clients' team, or whoever they designate for that, will be our videographer, and we direct them. I personally direct that remote videographer as I would direct my videographer on site. So we don't have a professional videographer, we do have a professional director, and with the stabilizer, it makes it very easy to do. So we've got excellent results. So you have interviews, you have B-roll, you have all you need to do a good branding video.
I was on your website earlier, and I was watching some of the videos, and one of them was pretty funny. It was a guy, hedge fund guy, and he was kind of like walking around his office. Was that remotely directed, and somebody on his team was holding a stabilizer, or were you guys on site?
No. That was done. That was done on site. I'm happy you like that. Yeah, and
I was thinking like that one looks like a live action filming. If this was remote, that would be.
Oh no. That was live action. Listen, I will be the last one to say that in terms of everything that you can get done aesthetically and creatively, that remote is exactly the same. No, it's not. Like that's basically a kind of a video ad that we did with a considerable budget there. Those are professional actors and all, but sometimes that's what you want to do. But when you talk about, most of our clients are small and mid-sized businesses, and today, as I said, everyone in the past, like, video was okay. Commercials, only big companies would have the budget to do a TV commercial. Come on, it was very expensive. Today it's different. So can you get exactly the same results doing remote? No, but most of the time you don't need that kind of. You're not doing a TV commercial. You're creating content about your firm. You're creating a behind the scenes, or you're creating a branding video, which can be done beautifully remotely, but it won't be exactly like that one that you saw. Yes.
And the customer testimonial thing, I mean, that one seems like it can easily be done remotely. And for small businesses, I mean, it seems like that's probably the type of video that's going to get them the most bang for their buck, because usually smaller businesses are struggling a little bit with sales. That's why they're small.
Yeah. Don't get me started with testimonials. Testimonials are very important. Yeah, of course, because first of all, we're used to it. Nobody buys anything without looking at a review or a testimonial first for everything. So but the reason that video testimonials work better is that what we were mentioning before, that like they appeal to emotions, that people connect to the story. You identify, you hear a story, you say, well, that is my problem, exactly the same problem.
Yeah.
And that is, I always like to say that a good testimonial will plant the first seed of trust that a person needs to give you a call. to want to learn more about what you're doing, to get to stay there, because again, a lot of competition around, and it's the experience that people had with you that will differentiate you, because you may be doing exactly the same thing that thousands of other companies are doing, but in the end, of course, results are very important. If you don't have results, don't do testimony, but also the experience and the way, and to hear someone telling that's their personal experience. This is not being embellished by some, because you see a written review, say that could have been embellished maybe a little bit, maybe not, but people trust that less. Most of it, and I'm not saying that people embellish, but you have that feeling. But when you see a person talking, it's a real person, and you can feel that it's not an actor, because people are just telling their stories. So that's why it works, and it is a sales tool, really, and it's also a marketing tool. Now the way we do it, remotely, it's first of all, there are a few principles to that, and it's important to say our testimonials are only interview based, and there's a reason for that, because I would say that an effective testimonial is a testimonial that will answer the questions that a prospect would ask, because that's what a prospect. If I watch a testimonial about from one of your clients, even if it looks good and sounds good, which is always a problem when people do it themselves, may not look good and sound good. But the content, is it relevant? If someone spends a whole minute telling me how you are such a nice guy, Neco, and was so nice to, well, it's good to hear that, but that's not what I want to know. I want to know how Neco helped that person, and what were the results, and so, and the only way to get those questions answers is to ask the questions. So that's why it needs to be an interview. Because you can gear the interview. Everything that the client will say, it's true. You're not scripting the client. God forbid, you're not scripting the client, but you are asking the right questions to get. Already know that client loved your service. Now you just want to get the information that is important for someone else that would be watching. So and the reason to do it live in a live interview is that not only the content is important, the way you deliver it, the way it's delivered is very important. And there's nothing more natural than a person answering a question in a video. And that's why, because you could say, okay, so send them the questions and they will record themselves. It will not look the same, but it will mainly not feel the same.
Yeah.
So that's the reason it's done the way it's done. So usually what we do are, there's another principle for a video testimonial, and this may surprise people, because they say, oh, it's so difficult when you ask people for a testimonial. Every company owner know that you ask people for a testimonial, someone will do it, not everybody will do it. A Google review, it's easy. No, it's not so easy, because you have to come up with something to write. It's work, it's a hassle. So if you want people to do testimonials, and people may think, oh, video testimonial is more of a hassle because people have to record something. I say, no, have to make it very easy, ridiculously easy, or people will not do it. So we decided to do it in a very, very easy way, that the only thing that people need to agree to do is to show up. If they agree to show up to something that looks like a Zoom for up to 30 minutes, usually takes less than that, then we're on. And most people will agree to that, because we're here. Everybody's used to this now. That's the way we do business now, and that's where we communicate. So people will agree. It's very rare that people don't agree. Then and if they agree, our client introduce them to us, and we do all the rest. We do the scheduling with them. We send them a little bit of equipment. I mentioned it before. We send them a tripod for the phone and a microphone, because microphones are not as good as the cameras. Have to always remember that. So it's good to use an external microphone. Now, to keep it easy, say, okay, sent you equipment. Now I need to get back the equipment. I say, no, keep the equipment. We decided to give the equipment as part of our service because it keeps it easy. Because, if you say everything is easy, but now you have to print a label and take it to FedEx, no, that's work. Won't do it. So that's the reason. The reason is not to give just to give a gift, but which is nice. It's a nice gift. People like it, but it's mainly to keep it easy. And then on the day that people schedule, they download an app to their phone, they log into a session, and we are there waiting for them with a smile, and armed with questions that we crafted together with our client to hit what we all call the FAQ. Yeah. So we craft the questions with our client, and then we have the conversation usually takes up to 15 minutes, not more than that. Upload it to the cloud. We say goodbye, thank you. That's all they needed to do, and it's usually a very nice conversation. People enjoy it, and then we take that footage. We then edit it down to around 2 minutes. Attention span is short. You don't want to go over 2 minutes in a testimonial. So between a minute and a half and 2 minutes, with the best parts of the testimony, and telling a story in a way that the way the testimonial starts, people will grab people's attention. So there's a structure to the testimonial. The only way to have that structure again is by building the story in a certain way. That's what we do in editing, with the question, only using the answers that the person gave, and then we bookend it with a branded graphic in the opening with the client's logo, name of the person, lower third, end frame, and then we ship it back to our clients for them to start using it.
Wow,
that's the way it works.
Sounds like a super easy process, very effective. I'm sure. I want to do a couple of these.
It's effective. It's effective, yeah. and to my pleasure, I've had some clients that, and mind you, we've done so many of those, but you can't say that a person called you as a result of the testimonial if you don't ask, because there are so many. All of us, we have so many things out there. You may have ads, you have the social, so it's difficult to know how the person got to you. If you ask, people will tell you. So I have some clients that or that the person mentions that. So I have a client who was a consultant. He said, listen, this person called me and said, oh, I watched the testimonial, blah, blah, blah. And he ended up closing a deal with that person. And afterwards he told me. So so I have a few of those that effectively prove that it really works, because it does.
Yeah, that's super cool. So I want to wrap things up here because we're up above 40 minutes now, but this has been awesome. Is there anything we didn't get to that you want to talk about?
Well, the only thing I would say to end is that there are we talked about the fact that video today is a must for business, and I want to reiterate that it is a must to be creating. Either if you're doing it yourself or remember that you have the tools. You may need some help to understand what you're doing. If you have a professional that can help you set up, but there's a lot of stuff that people can do and should be doing themselves, and you're missing opportunities if you're not doing it. So I would tell everybody, take your phones out and start doing video.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome. Well, how should people get in touch with you if they want your help and to do some of the remote testimonials? Should they just go to your website or LinkedIn or what?
Well, both. I would say they can look for me, Neco Turkienicz, on LinkedIn. That's probably the easiest way to get to me. I'm there all the time. You can and by the way, on LinkedIn, I usually post my video blog. I've been trying to teach as much as I can people about video for business, and it's all out there for free. So I have already 63 chapters of my video blog, which is not interviews. It's more like 5-6 minutes of just teaching stuff. It's called Video Lion. So that's on my YouTube channel. If you look for LEIB Productions YouTube channel, you can find us. There's another way to find us. And our website, yes, leibproductions.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I want to encourage everybody to reach out to Neco. Go on LinkedIn, watch those video blogs. You can find them on YouTube. We'll link to everything in the show notes. But in the meantime, like he said, take out your smartphone, start collecting video content today. It's never been easier. It's super powerful. And Neco, thank you for joining me in the Lion's Den.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.